Hi guys, my name is Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Green Onion Vintage. Every now and then I get out of the house and I'm not doing crafts or going to my own antique booth. I actually get to go shopping. And this year I made it over to the Belleville, Illinois Forever Vintage Market. This is probably my third year coming here and it's such a good vintage show. I'm trying to give you guys like a spin around here to show you how big the venue is. I know you don't have like a great idea just based on this, but this is at the Belleville, Illinois Fairgrounds, and the building that it's in is pretty gigantic, and then there's even like a couple smaller buildings that are attached to the back. So it's hard to get perspective on how large the market is, but this is a very good size. And I always have a good time coming here. It was kind of a last minute decision for me to come this time though, and we went only about an hour till closing. So I start out really slow and I'm like getting all the vendors' names, but by the end of it, I'm kind of like running through. I just kind of forgot honestly how long it takes to get through everything. And I even missed some vendors like in the middle row. So I'm sorry if you guys are set up here and you're hoping to see your booth. I ended up just kind of having to rush towards the end and just hit some of the booths that are more of the antiques, which is kind of what I gravitate towards. There are some booths here that even sell food, and then there were a lot of like clothing boutique booths this year, which are so fun to look through, and I wish I would have had more time to shop because they all looked really great. Some of them were like handmade things and other things were more wholesale. So there's just a variety of shopping to happen here. And the booth you're looking at right now is right inside the doorway. And this man is hand making all of these wood items. So I show you his name here if you guys want to reach out to him if you're in the area. So that was a really pretty booth to start off with. And then right next to it, I go into this booth here and I do get their name. So you can see that at the end of the booth tour also. And they said that they had already sold a ton, and I was there on the first day. It was just later in the day. So they were like kind of sad that I was taping so late because they had already sold so much, and they said their display in the morning was beautiful. So once you see this shop's name, you can go find them on Facebook, and they have their pictures posted there. And I also have the link down in the description box below for the Belleville Forever Vintage Market. And they have a bunch of preview pictures there of the event. So you can go through there too and see all the things that I missed when I went around on my shop with me here. I'm kind of bummed that I didn't see everything right away. But like I said, I kind of went on a whim this year. So if I want to see everything, I need to be more intentional and get there right when they open, apparently, because they had been really busy all day. I really like these ornaments here. I thought that was a good idea, using those old little tins. It was just so fun to kind of shop through and see what everybody else is doing. And I do have it in my mind one day to do a market like this. I would just have to be so prepared, though, for the level of inventory. To sell so much in one weekend. I've never really done that before. I've only had a booth space in a store that's open all the time, and we have a tent event a couple times a year, so I kind of get a taste of what it would be like to have my own event space like this where you're having thousands of people come through. It would just require a lot of preparation, so I think I'm willing to do it. It would just be something new for me to try. I liked these little bottle brush trees here, of course. I've been doing a lot of those lately. But I like the use of these old thread holders. What are they called? I'm taping this late at night, so just give me a little grace here as I struggle to find words that I should know. I love this vintage stocking, and I always kick myself when I go back and edit these videos of any vintage market or anytime I'm thrifting, because I see so much that I wish I would have snagged. So here's their name, Summer Finds. So you can definitely find her on Facebook. And then, like I said, you can scroll through the market page and try to find their booth also. So you can see how they set up. I know a lot of you guys are also vendors, so you kind of like to see how other people are setting up their booths for things like this. And that's definitely one of the reasons I come to these things. I don't think I bought anything except for like a few Christmas gifts. I kind of go to craft shows and then I get stuck in the mindset of like, if I really wanted that, I could probably make it, even though I normally don't. So I end up just not having it, and I wish I would have just grabbed a few of these things. So the booth right here is Maggie's Market. They were definitely one of my favorite booths. I just think they were very much my style. They use a lot of greenery like I like, and a lot of the green paint. You see that green truck on the shelf there. I just thought that was so cute. I think they're on the Missouri side, so I live kind of close to the border of Illinois and Missouri, very close to St. Louis, and so I think a lot of the show vendors here are from that kind of similar area. I didn't notice that anybody was from way out of town, but I could be wrong about that. Look how beautiful that box is, by the way. So cute with the deer. And I swear those deer are the ones from the Target that I got this year. I only got one of them though. But I love that scene that she had set up in the box. And then she had all these Scrabble tiles here. So let's talk about doing YouTube really quickly. I feel like doing YouTube, filming booths, it definitely pushes me out of my comfort zone. I have to just walk up to people and say, hello, can I tape your booth? Would you like to be on YouTube? And everybody's always surprised when I ask that. It's just kind of weird. And, I don't think in my area being a YouTuber is a very common thing. I always get like a what? You're doing what? And I only had one person tell me no at this market. And then there were a few booths at the end that I had like 3 minutes left. So I just got like a couple snapshots of their booth and I didn't ask permission. So if you're watching this and you're angry that your booth is on here, I am so sorry. And I would gladly take the video down if that upsets anybody. Because I don't know, I guess I would feel weird if somebody did it to my booth too. But ultimately, I'm just here to share your guys' booth with the world. So hopefully that doesn't ruffle any feathers. I really just like to have my channel be a place where you can come and see what other people are doing who have similar interests. So if you're here because you like vintage markets and you enjoy antique shopping, then you are in the right place. Now this booth is along the back wall of that big main room that you first walk into, and it is definitely one of my favorites. I love just like the vibrant Christmas colors. I feel like I don't use a lot of color in my home, but for Christmas time, like I love a really vibrant red and green mixed together. And then she just had so many like really cool primitive pieces stuck in here, and just some antiques that feel random, but they just all go so well because they're all just those really nice saturated colors, and then just like the stems and these bottles up here. I thought that was all really clever and just a good way to upcycle antique pieces that otherwise like you might not know what to do with. I think Christmas time is such an easy time to do upcycling projects. I didn't get many done this year just because I'm still in the swing of like figuring out this whole parenting 3 kids kind of thing. But maybe next year I'll have things under control a little bit more and I'll have more time to craft, because I do feel like Christmas is just, it's an easier time to get creative with crafts and upcycling things that you can find at the thrift shop or yard sales, estate sales, anywhere that you're finding your antique things. You can see here that she's using a lot of creativity with the containers that she uses for all of the trees and the stems and the bottle brush trees, and just really mixing all of those textures together. I think she does a good job mixing the metals and then the shiny ornaments and the old rustic wood and the softness of the bottle brush trees. So I just love it. I love this booth. I wish I could have spent more time in there for you guys. But I couldn't. Time was limited, like I said. But I should have gone again, because actually if you get a ticket, you get to go the whole weekend for the same price. And I think it was $10 per adult. So not a bad price at all, especially considering you can go more than once if you want to. So I wish I would have had time to go back and kind of look through some of these a little bit more. And now I am moved on to a different booth. I still think I'm in that main room though. I'm having a hard time remembering exactly where this was. But if you're looking for like antique blow molds, I saw so many of them, and then just a ton of antique ornaments. Okay, I remember the elves now. Okay, so I'm in the next room that's kind of attached to the back of that big main room. So there's just like a couple other like big spaces back here. And I don't know why, but this stuck out to me, this like little ceramic tree with the carolers on front. They were asking $195, so I have a good feeling that it's pretty collectible. And I don't know why, I just thought that was so cute. And then I filmed this booth just to give you an idea that there are also more just like handmade items, so not things that are specifically Christmassy. But I thought that this guy had some really cool ideas. So the brand is Gypsy Wagon. So he made all these guitar cutouts that would make some really cool wall art, especially if you have a musician in your life. And then he was also making all of these cutting boards. I guess I didn't get a good picture of them, but you saw that tree there for a split second. So he was making like cutting boards out of wood, and they were various shapes. A lot of them were like guitars and other instruments. So I thought that was really cool. And then I just wanted to give you a glimpse here of how big some of the other rooms were that are attached to that main space. So now I'm kind of like in room 3, I would consider it. That other back room is mostly food, so there's not a ton there for me to film. And there was also a really cute clothing boutique booth back there too. So now I'm kind of in a third room, and I really liked this display here. I love those white trees with the framing there towards the bottom of the screen, like those triangles. I think that's going to be something that I want to try to do next year. And that tree there with the staggered wood pieces, that was $40, which I thought was actually a really good price. So these triangle trees here, though, I would love to try to figure out a way to do those next year. I just think those are very primitive and farmhousey, but not like Hobby Lobby farmhouse, which I think we're kind of trying to get away from. So I think they're doing great with their signs here. I've just heard rumors around the antique booth market that sign sales are kind of going down. I used to do a lot of signs. I even did custom orders. But yeah, I do think it's dropped off a lot. And also personally, I find custom sign orders really stressful because I just feel like they have to be perfect. And so I kind of stopped taking orders actually for a long time because it was no longer enjoyable to me. It was just very stressful, and I was worried about them being perfect. So all that to say, I don't know how signs are doing for you guys. I would love to actually hear that down in the comments if you're a reseller or a sign maker. How have your sales been? And so this is one of the booths back up in the main part of the market. And I love this booth. I love that old quilt, but this was a very heavily filled antique booth, which most of them up until this point, I would say have been a mixture of vintage and handmade, where this one was almost entirely antiques. I love that drawer piece for $150. Thought that was so cool. And this little metal drawer piece, I think for $120 right there. is absolutely amazing. And then there was another one over here, and I believe that one was like closer to 200 also. So some really cool pieces. And like I said, I had to start speeding up at this point because it was getting close to the end of the night. That's my little toddler there and my husband. So I was shopping with the family, which is always another reason that I'm kind of trying to get through things quickly. This booth here is actually some friends of mine. The couple that I'm friends with actually has a booth in the store that I also have a booth in called My Treasure House. Their booth is called Trash to Treasure. And then their son's store is called Vintage 71, and those are both in Edwardsville, Illinois. So I know them well, and I knew they were going to be at this market, or at least I had a good idea. And this is their normal space, kind of up in that main room, but they are, if you come into the doors, are kind of in the back left area. So they had brought in all of these really cool dough bolts that were actually shaped like Christmas trees and trucks. I thought those were super neat. And so I try to kind of go through here and show you a variety. You've seen some of their stuff at the tent sales too, when my store owners at my treasure house have a tent sale. So you might see some similar things, but a lot of their inventory here I actually hadn't seen before, but they're really good to have. Just like some really, really cool pieces, and especially things that would look good outdoors. So they're really great if you're needing a gift. So you can find them at My Treasure House and then also at Vintage 71 in Edwardsville, Illinois. Now, the last booth that I was able to record for you guys is one of my favorites every single year. I bought a couple like smaller pieces from her before to upcycle. I didn't find anything this time that was needing some help. She had everything pretty much finished and beautiful. And as much as I feel like I'm trying to stay away from white at this point, I'm still just love the look of a piece of white furniture. And so this booth makes me so happy. She mixed a lot of the greenery in, which is just my favorite look, as you guys know. So I fully enjoyed walking through this booth. I did not have enough time to like really get in there and look at prices and stuff. And I cannot find the name of this booth anywhere online, and I didn't grab a business card. So if you went to the market or if you own this booth, will you please give your info down in the comments below so that you can get some credit where it is due, because your work is beautiful. I know this table and chair set was $550 for the whole refinished table and chairs, which I thought was a really good price. So that is everything from the market. I hope you guys enjoyed walking through there and are able to make it to one of their markets in the future. It's really worth your time, at least to take a lap. And even if you aren't going to necessarily purchase something, it's so inspirational if you are also someone who has an antique booth like myself, and you're just feeling like you can use some inspiration for how to set up your booth and how to really like attract customers into your space. The more that you can do to get people to spend time in your booth, the higher likelihood that you're going to be able to sell your items. So I do think it's important every now and then to freshen up the look of your space. And while I have you here, I'm just going to show you really quickly, after we went through the vintage market, I promised my kids we would go see some Christmas lights, and this is at the Lady of the Snows Shrine in Belleville, Illinois still, and they have like a Lego area too, so that's what I'm just showing you really quickly here. We had a good time, and that kind of helped convince the kids that we could do the vintage market and then also do some Christmas lights, which is so good, and we love doing Christmas lights with the boys, and they get to drive the car, which I think is just the best thing ever. So I hope you guys enjoyed looking through the market with me today and just spending some time with me. Let me know what some of your favorite things were down below, and if this is the last video I put out before Christmas, I want to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for being here with me and for spending time with me all year long. You guys are so supportive, so just thank you, thank you. I hope you have a great Christmas this year. I appreciate you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.